Hi, everybody. Hope this is working. Hello, hello. This is Janet Wright. Hopefully, this is working. So, just let me know. Text that you can hear me or something. So, this is a Q&A. It will be roughly an hour long. So, I am an energy healer, reader, and teacher. So, if you have questions about wellness, energy healing, energy boundaries, meditation, uh, anything like that, you can ask me. I'm going to set a timer because otherwise I'm going to go forever and we don't want that. I don't want that. So yeah, so go ahead and feel free to ask questions, like one or two per person, just so everyone has a chance, and maybe three if they're tiny questions, but they're usually not tiny. Um, so thank you for attending my little Q&A. So it says, hi, Janet, I can hear you. Yay. So it says, yes, good. I can hear you. Thank you. Thank you. Hi, Janet. Hi. Hi, Janet. Yes, can hear you. I can't stop feeling stressed. Am I doing a bad job of fending off angst from students' parents, or is this coming from my own blocks or issues? You know what I think it is? It's actually good news, even though it feels like bad news. It's that now you're consistently present in your first chakra. And so, congratulations. It's a long time coming for you. You worked hard for a long time, years, but now you're usually in all of your physical body chakras. So, the upside of that is you're more in charge of your life, you're less easily flattened. But initially, when you first get back into a chakra level, like for you, your first chakra and your first layer, now you're way more present there than you've been since you were 2 years old. You feel all that's going on in your first chakra and your first layer to a much greater degree, and you just have to work it more, like clear fear. Just do my clear fear videos. Just search Janet Wright clear fear on YouTube and just work the heck out of those 2 or 3 videos about clearing fear. It's basically just energy blocks, like right in front here and all the way around your first layer. Just make sure the first layer is really expanded and roomy. You can even make your first layer like twice as big as the other layers. They don't have to be all the equal size. It's just you don't want them to be like really teeny, but you can have 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, make them like extra room. I don't think you have more parents courting you there than usual. I just think you do have some courting into energy blocks in your first layer that are there. Mostly around your leg region, like in the front here and sides. First layer right here, waist and thighs and knees, that whole area of first layer. So just look for energy blocks there. That's where the teachers and fellow teachers and student parents are courting. But like I said, it's not more than usual. It's just that you're there, so any little disturbance in the force, you really feel it. You'll get used to that, and you'll get used to being really good at clearing it, so then it's an even better feeling, So, congratulations. Hope that makes sense. Okay, someone says, hi, Janet. I followed the live stream healing today. Would you please let me know how I'm doing, perhaps before, after the healing? It would be great to know what to work further to feel even better. So before the healing, you were in 7 through 3. You were present in physical body chakra 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. So then at the end of the healing, you were present in all your chakras. I would say at the end of the live stream, I talked a little bit about expanding the back of your aura. I think you could do more of that, just more flow and release out the back of your aura and the back of your grounding, because you're just like, it's like 2 parts here, 1 part here. So you want to just let this expand more and unblock more actively in the back of your grounding and the back of your aura. that part that we did today about in today's healing about, you know, removing oppression devices from your creative rings, your seventh chakra, and your first chakra. That's you know, there's a lot of room for growth for that with you. You're, you know, you're somewhat advanced, so you could really rock that more. So once you get the back more expanded, then you could, you know, redo that part more, those parts of the live stream, or just freestyle it. You know, just remember what we did and do more of it. All right, hope that makes sense. Thank you for your question. Someone says, I got anxiety from my partner. We both got the healing, and I'm not sure what happened. Well, for you, I think you're handling two issues. You're handling some boundary issues with your partner, but I think a bigger issue is something that I wasn't able to mention in the healing today consciously, but you know, you can have beings in the way that are creating distractions so that you're not as large and in charge in your space as you could be. And I think that's like maybe 70% of what's going on. But the boundary issues with your partner, you're very attuned to that consciously. So you feel that. That's the 30% problem that you have. But the 70% problem, you're not, I don't know that you're not noticing it consciously. I don't know what that is. So that's the 70% problem. So if you deal with that first, then the issues with your partner will not seem so mysteriously hard to solve. It's just some beings hogging up your space, like around your right shoulder, behind your right shoulder. Just, you can just line up, and anyone can do this. Just imagine your angels, real angels, you know, in a row out in front of you, and then imagine just fake angels or just random beings that are hogging up your space, you know. And don't be like freaked out if they're like, you know, I mean, for you, I would say there's maybe about 23 of these random, you know, fake angel, random hugging up space kind of beings. And so just ask your angels, can you please recycle those beings? And then, yeah, so I see you doing that. So then the stuff with you and your partner, I think that's just a couple beings that he has in his space. So you can just, and I think you also have some being issues with some clients. So you can just, you know, all at once. You can just look, okay, well, I'm just going to imagine, you know, any beings from my partner that are screwing with me, and any beings from clients and family members that are screwing with me. And just it's like a big crowd of them, you know, and just say, angels, can you please recycle all these beings? And then just have your healthy beverage while that goes on. Is that, you know, it's a good example of sometimes you don't really have an issue with the person, you have an issue with the beings in that person's space that are just trying to create some distracting drama for you. Okay, cool. Hope that makes sense. Someone says, yesterday after the healing on Friday was a rough processing day for me. I'm not sure why. Feeling like I have more energy today. Could you check and see how I'm doing and what might have been so rough? Okay, so your ex is not in the healing, but this topic is sort of like, you know, it is huge for him, this topic. So I think he's just really, there's a lot triggered as you get these healings and you work these issues, and he does not. So what's a workable way to do that now that we're in it? Because it's not like you can pay for him to get the healings, because it's already sold out and we're 2/3 of the way through the healings. What you could do is just say hi to your partner on a spirit level. I mean, you're really centered right now. So I wouldn't, you normally I'd say, well, center yourself first, but you're already really centered because you got the healing just like minutes ago. So just say, you know, hi, we'll say his name is Joe Blow. Hi, Joe Blow. Just, you can ask your angels, if you want, you can ask your angels for you to get special healings about clearing oppression energy. and finding your strength. And, that way, and you might have to say it a couple times or explain it a different way until you feel like his spirit kind of gets it. And it's like, oh, okay, okay, okay. So it's just that it's a topic that would have been really good for him. And so he's got a lot triggered right now because he's not getting the healings. So, but, it's not like angels will only help somebody if they pay me and I heal them, so just have him catch up with his angels. Alrighty. Hope that makes sense. Yeah, and in general, as a general rule, for any of my clients, if you have people that are in your past, but you still have their spirit is aware of you and you're aware of them, or say it's a genetic relative or a mother-in-law or something, when you're moving forward in a big way with one of these triplet sets or a healing masterclass or something, just be aware that it could trigger them. And so you can say hi to them and remind them they have angels and their angels can help them. That way they get to work through their blocks and they get to clear as well. I mean, some people actually pay for relatives to get the healings too, but, say in that case, it's too late, but also, maybe financially, you just can't afford to pay for your, every ex that you have to get the healing. So just say hi to them, remind them that they have angels, their angels can help them. On a spirit level, just remind them with the voice of your mind. Just say, hey, in your mind. Someone says, hey, Janet, sometimes I have issues speaking up or being honest with people, kind of suppressing my feelings. Anything I can clear? Well, I don't know if this is relevant, but I'm getting that impression about, like when people have groups of friends, groups of friends sometimes don't work so well because you may have outgrown like 80% of the friendships in this friendship group, and so you're kind of biting your tongue with 80% of those people because the vibration of the friendship doesn't really suit you anymore, but you feel like it's a whole big house of cards, and if you break up with some of them, then it's going to complicate what you have with the others. That's why angels usually aren't super big on friendship groups. They always kind of say it's just more, a lot of times there's just more room for authenticity and fine-tuning a friendship if it's just a one person with one person, or maybe a couple with a couple, kind of just a smaller situation. But anyway, so maybe that's relevant to what you're saying, what you're asking, but where is it? I'm looking for your question again. Oh, anything I can clear? Yeah, I think that video I have, the fifth chakra one, that could be nice. Yeah. So you just search, it's somewhat recent, that video. I mean, it's not like the ones that are like 8 years old. Those videos, it's like I filmed it outside. And if you just search Janet Wright, fifth chakra, fifth layer, the number 5, fifth chakra, fifth layer, you'll find it. Just work that. That way you can, but also sometimes maybe do message flowers instead. Because sometimes if you sense that somebody is not open to what you'd like to say to them, then there's not much point in saying it consciously. You just say it on a spirit level with the energy healing flowers. And that is in the video if you search for it. I mean, you know what it is, but for other people. Janet Wright, resolve conflict and boundary issues is the video, and then it uses message flowers. Towards the end, it uses message flowers, and that's useful. Like, for example, I'm gonna get a fence put up it's just in my front yard on one side, but I have a neighbor who, she's very nice, but she kind of gets attached to the way things used to be. She's not big on big energy shifts. So I had the angels work with her and, whatever. And I did the communication about the fence that I'm going to put up on a spirit level for like, a month before I mentioned anything to her consciously. So by the time I mentioned something to her consciously, she just seemed like really thoughtful about it. And then she asked some questions and she was okay with it, But that's because she had already, cleared the energy with the angels for a while about it. So that could be an option too, that you just say what you need to say on a spirit level, and then maybe you don't even need to say it consciously, or you wait till they've cleared all the energy about it, and then you say it consciously, so it goes over better. Alrighty. Someone says, I've been receiving your healing for a bit and found out I am pregnant. Does the baby receive the healing as well? Well, the baby spirit doesn't so much need the healing. You need the healing because the baby spirit, like if a baby spirit is in your womb, you're pregnant, right? That baby, when he's not, his spirit, well, his body's always is growing, right, inside your body, right? But his spirit, at least half the time, is taking trips to heaven and then comes back with the little angels that come with him, which I call angel nannies. So the angel nannies bring him back and forth whenever he wants, whenever they want. So a lot of times when you're meditating, the angel nannies will bring him in, so his spirit is in his little growing body. And so then when you're meditating, because when you're meditating, it's a better environment for him, and when you're getting a healing, obviously it's a better environment for him. So he's benefiting a lot from you getting healing and or healing yourself. You don't have to explicitly get him healings. I mean, I think once or twice somebody did they do that? No. I mean, no. Yeah, like I wouldn't charge extra for that, and I wouldn't bother because they're in such a pure state. They're not born yet. I mean, it's not that they don't have past life baggage, but they're getting all the help they need pretty much with their angels. So if you just give them a better environment by working on yourself, then that's the best thing you can do for them. So long story short, the healings definitely benefit them, although the healings are on you, not on them. But then once they're born, if you want, you could definitely, pay for them to get one of the group healings. That's usually really interesting for a parent, to see the difference. But it's not required, I mean, a lot of times you're the one that needs the healing and then they just benefit because you're more flowing and present. But there are some situations where, the past life baggage of that baby, once they're like 2 months old or 3 months old, can get in the way. But a lot of times it's more just the adults, like the little kid's grandma, that's getting in the way of your flow with him or something. So, it's usually the adults causing the problems at first. But if there's ever, for anybody, if there's a unique situation, feel free to ask. Okay. Someone says, how is my son doing? Yeah. Your son who received the healings. It's interesting because at first he was so scattered. So like a lot of him was kind of far off, but now he's not that much scattered really. He's more here. It's just the heaviness in his aura. There's a lot of energy blocks, and so that's releasing. And so it's like now his just aura gets lighter and lighter. So the aura work is really helping him to just, shed a lot of that. The indie grounding thing really helps him too, just to have his grounding not connect to anybody else. That's just giving him an extra ability to release that he didn't have before. He gives me a thumbs up. So yeah, it's a process, I mean, he needs a lot, but he's getting it. He seems to be very open to it. He's taking to him very quickly, so that's nice. Sometimes with adults, it's, they have varying rates, varying degrees of how fast they heal. But considering how kind of out and heavy he was, he's changing pretty fast. So that's nice. Kids often change pretty fast, but adults, sometimes we're not as, it's not that we're not as evolved. It's just, takes a little bit longer to get unmessed up. sometimes as adults. But yeah, so he's doing very well. So far, so good. All right. Someone says, "Hi, Janet. My grandmother has Alzheimer's. How can I help her?" Um, it's an individualized question the way I'm answering it, because Alzheimer's, I mean, there are things that are in common, that she has in common with other people's relatives that have Alzheimer's. But some people that have Alzheimer's, they're in more of a, like on a spirit level, they're in more of a place of acceptance of it. So yes, they still have those barriers to being present, that are there from the Alzheimer's illness, but they're really kind of flowing and in a cool place. They're just out of their body a lot of the time. But your grandma, from what I can see, is not. It's hard for her right now to like, she keeps trying to fight it, like fight her way in, and she seems to be like kind of, like beating her hands about like rah, like she's in a big cage. But I don't think she's in a big cage. I just think Alzheimer's is real and it's an illness, and it impairs your ability to get really in. So what I would say is maybe do any of those flower healing videos with her just to help her relax. If you search Janet Wright, flower healing others, that's one. And then Janet Wright, resolve conflict and boundary issues. Those both have a lot of flower healing in them. And like the resolve conflict and boundary issues, you would think, well, I don't have conflict with my grandma. You're misunderstanding me, Janet. But it's okay. The whole video is just nice things that you can do for someone else with flower healing to help them balance. So you can do it for someone you have a conflict with, because you want ideally to help them be more balanced so that they can leave you alone. But with your grandma, ideally you would want her to be more balanced so she can just find a more of a peaceful headspace with what's happening to her and hear her angels better, and just kind of get into more of a zen space about it. So that's what I would suggest. Do those videos with her. You can do them at least once a week, but you can do them every other day. Depends on how motivated you are, but you could just keep doing them with her until you just get a difference, like get a sense of, imagine how she is up there, and then just watch how that changes over time. And just still talk to her on a spirit level, just say hi to her, just say, we still love you, we know you're still there, it's okay, everybody still loves you, we're okay, because they're still there. It's just that the ability to get in to the physical form to communicate is gradually more and more impaired. But they're still there. So just talk to her with your mind. Just stay present and just let your mind go, and she can hear you on a spirit level. Okay. Someone says, also, how did my mom, dad, and brother do in the healing? Yeah, I'm going to have to give you the mini version of that because we have a lot of questions. Well, I think actually, since you asked a different question lower down, I'm gonna. Oh wait, you already asked that one. Did you ask any others? No, you didn't. So I'll do a quickie version. I mean, your mom. I mean, your brother's clearing a lot from past lives. Particularly that thing we did with the seventh chakra and the creative ring today, removing oppression devices. He thinks that's really cool. He's like, that's crazy cool. Your sister, The indie grounding helps her the most, just because she gets all wrapped up in everybody's stuff, and I think she just doesn't even realize what it kind of she just has sort of more of it affects her a lot, all this communal grounding that she does. So now that she has the indie grounding, kind of refreshed and recreated, it just it's like making her kind of inward a little bit, like kind of like she's rethinking some things, which is good. Your your dad, he always says that what helps him the most is that your mom got the healing. So it did help your mom more than your dad, but it helps your dad because it helps your mom. Your mom, the indie grounding is drastically new for her. She's very much like invasively, trying to be in everybody's grounding constantly. So this indie grounding thing for her is weird. But her angels are thrilled. They're hoping that she really takes to it. She's not sure she likes it as a concept. I mean, she feels good with it, but then she's like, yeah, but like she doesn't have enough control over everybody that way. So she's still thinking about it, but her angels are like hoping that she really takes to it. So we'll see. But your dad's enjoying it. Yeah. Okay, someone says for telepathic consent participants, they receive the healing but also learn techniques. Yes, that's true. What kind of changes are possible for them with regard to the techniques they've learned on a spirit level? Okay, good question. So, for those of you that don't understand, what that means is that, I healed 100 people, but not all the 100 people were consciously paying me to get the healing. Some of them were like, somebody's best friend, or more commonly, somebody's husband or somebody's mother or somebody's adult child, stuff like that. And in some cases, the other person knows consciously about the healing and they're totally into it. They're fully engaged with the process, and or maybe partially engaged, like they know the healing happened, and then that way when they feel different later in the day and they have all this energy and they're weirdly productive, they'll be like, oh, that was because of the healing. Interesting. But some people, they're just not that open to the idea of a healing, but they really need it. I mean, that's the irony of it. The people that most need healing often are the people that are like, it's not for me, consciously. But as I said before, your conscious part of you, particularly in those people, is a very small part of themselves as a whole. And so what I do is I ask themselves as a whole. I ask them as a soul, as a spirit, would you like this healing? And I explain it to them, the benefits. And so if they as a spirit say, oh yeah, I need that, then they're getting the healing, and that's called telepathic consent, right? So your question is probably specific to your person, that was telepathic consent. If I can find her. Yeah. I think the indie grounding would be a lasting thing for her. I mean, maybe not 100%, just because indie grounding, you probably need to keep practicing, but she can now practice with her angels and keep going. But I think she won't go back to as much of the communal grounding as she was doing. That would have a lasting effect. So like before, sometimes she would get communal grounding up to like 80%, which was really going to get in her way, but she didn't know what was happening to her. So now probably her max that she would get as far as communal grounding would be like maybe like a 45%, and her norm might be more like a 10% in communal grounding. So it takes time for, like, for example, somebody pays for her husband and she gets him every single healing, and so he's like a freaking rock star now, and it's telepathic consent for him, but he's like in 7 through 2 all the time now. Somebody else's husband gets all the healings, telepathic consent, and he was pretty mellow to begin with. So sometimes he's in 7 through 2, sometimes he's in 7 through 1. Sometimes if, like people from his past, really nail him, maybe he's in 7 through 4. you know, because he got whacked a lot, but he's much more likely on a spirit level to ask that his aura gets repaired because he's learned on a spirit level. He has much more familiarity with that. So I hope that makes sense. So it sinks in for people. Like, it's not like I'm programming anybody. I'm not brainwashing anybody. So they could just get the healing, feel good, and then just never do any of it again. You know, if they're, you know, it just depends on how open to it, how much they keep up with it with their angels. But it introduces them to a lot of possibilities. It reminds them of a lot of possibilities that maybe they weren't thinking about since maybe when they were in heaven, you know, last time in between lifetimes. So it's a nice like wake up call in a way. And it depends the person, you know, sometimes people need like 3 triplet sets in a row, telepathic consent, to really, you know, be like, wow, now, you know, they're different in a lasting way. It just depends on the person, how open they are to change, you know. So hope that makes sense. Someone says, hi, Janet, thank you for the healing. I have been focusing a lot on my 7th chakra later, so this has been a nice compliment to that. Curious how my sister has been doing with her first triplet set. Yes. Let me see. Well, I just asked her what her favorite part of it was. I asked her on a spirit level, and she said the heart chakra stuff. So we haven't done over heart chakra, but we have healed and repaired all chakras. So I think that's just the one that she feels like she enjoys the most right now, is getting her heart chakra better, which I can see that because it needed some help. The super buffers that she has look really awesome. Those big extra gold buffers that we made in this Tinny's healing, that looks really good on her. I mean, she seems like she likes it. It's like she's still 1 foot in, 1 foot out, you know, like I'm interested, but I don't know how interested I am yet. But she's you know, so it's like so far so good, but it's she's not like a big giant healing fan yet, you know. But she's open to it. It's just sort of maybe halfway open to it. You know, it takes time for some people. You know, some people are like, oh my God, where's this been all my life? You know, and they jump in with both feet. But she's more, you know, 1 foot in, 1 foot out in as far as like openness to it. But she's open enough that her spirit is definitely benefiting. So I would think likely some positive attitude shifts, if they're not already occurring, would occur by like Wednesday of next week. So you can, you know, see how she's doing on your end. But she looks good. Let's see. Someone says, hi, Janet. Look forward to these Q&A sessions. So great. Thank you. Well, thank you. Someone says, have I been more consistently present all 7 chakras lately? Still feel it is on and off. Very much so. Yes, you have been. I think, you know, like I think I said for one of the other people, it's just that when you're in all your chakras a lot, you notice things that are wrong that maybe before you would not have noticed. So you just have a deeper level of awareness. So you're like, oh my God, I have 2 whacks in the back of my aura. Whereas, you know, before, 3 days later, you would have just had like no aura. You wouldn't have even noticed it until it was way too late, you know. So now you're noticing it, you know. So yeah, you're doing great. It's just, you know, chill out, fix things fast, move on with your day, you know. I mean, if you're having problems with anything, let me know. But it doesn't look like there's really any problem. You know, it just looks like you're more aware of all that goes on in your space than you were before. Right. I mean, yeah, you're usually in all chakras now. I mean, if you're not, it'd be like 7 through 3 or 7 through 2 that you're in. But a lot of times it is all chakras. It's just that fit can get kind of tight there, and you're in, but it's like, ugh, you know. So just that, you know, that get present in 2nd and 1st chakras video, that type of work, where you work the inner 2 layers, you know, and beneath your feet, above your head, and all that. So for others who don't know that video, You search YouTube, Janet Wright, get present in second and first chakras. And that is a video that helps you to have a better fit in your lower chakras, roomier fit, so that you can be there and just really relax and feel good. Someone says, I notice I am now physically feeling rips, wax, and even beings when they are present in my space. Am I doing well to avoid victim energy? But I am doing well to avoid victim energy, but feeling it scares me, making it hard to heal. Advice? Well, I mean, if you're scared, then you just need to clear fear. You know, do those clear fear videos. Janet Wright, clear fear. Just search that, you know, Janet Wright, clear fear. There'll be like 2 videos at least that come up with that you could get a lot of mileage out of. Because, I mean, it's just, think of it think about it this way. Like, you know, I could find beings in my space right now too, you know? I mean, it's not to a point where I feel uncomfortable, but, you know, whatever. You know, I'm not like, okay, they can stay, but, you know, I'm not going to spend 24/7 clearing my space. I just want as much flow and presence as I can possibly have. And I clear out as much as I can possibly do so that I can make the most of my life. But, you know, there's nothing to be afraid of. I mean, you think about it, you're a lot more present than you were before. You have a lot less beings in your space than you did before. I mean, before, Jesus, you know, you had like maybe 40% of your aura some days. You know, and now you have, you know, 90 to 100% of your aura most days. So, you know, try to have a sense of perspective as to how far you've come. You know, pat yourself on the back now and then. Okay. I was curious personally. Someone says, so thank you for your question. Someone says, I was curious personally, what kind of things can I do to improve my relationships and interpersonal skills, developing and maintaining friendships and connections with others? Your angels say that sometimes you try too hard. And that sometimes, you know, people just need processing time, and so they're not interacting with you, and it's not so much about you. They just are, sometimes people self-isolate, or, you know, you could do like the spirit level communication, you know, like those conflict resolution type flowers, you know, and leave them for that person, you know, help them clear their energy. Because sometimes you might be growing way faster than they are, and so then they just need a little time to catch up, you know. So, yeah, your angels say try less and then keep it more on a spirit level, what you're trying, so that, you know, and just kind of, you can imagine like a line, you know, and be like, okay, well, this is the sort of reciprocity, even Steven line. This is the 50-50 line, you know, here I am at the line doing my part. Is that person doing their part? No, they're totally away from the line. So whatever, you know, if I really need that person in my life right now to be there, maybe I'll do flower healing, see if that helps. Otherwise, I'll just let them have their space, you know, and whatever. It is what it is. I'll just read a book instead, you know. Just kind of, you know, don't like cross the line and go hunting for them. You know? All right, guys, take it easy. Take it easy. All right, let's see. Someone says, hey, Janet, feeling inspired after these first 2 healings. How often have I been in my first chakra during the past week? Thank you. You know, when I looked at you Thursday, late Thursday, I looked at you, since we're in different time zones, a lot different time zones. I just looked at how were you that earlier that day on Thursday, and a lot of your energy was pretty scattered due to communal grounding versus indie grounding. So there wasn't really much wrong with your aura or your chakras or your grounding. It was just because of the communal grounding, you were just the effect of that communal grounding at a time of such cultural and social and economic upheaval caused a lot of your spirit to go, whoa, and just scatter. So I think that this past week you've been dealing with that. I think there were some days where you were definitely in all chakras, but then other days the scattering was just too much. And so you were maybe in like 7 through 3 because you were really far out. But like I said, there wasn't anything really wrong with your chakras or with your aura. Your aura was whole, your chakras were whole, your grounding was there and flowing. It's just bigger parts of you were not there. So I would just say, keep checking your indie grounding, and which we did in this today and on Friday. For those of you that don't know, look up the videos, and you could go right to the indie grounding part rather than watch the whole 2-hour video if you want. Just look for the timestamp for indie grounding and click on that, and it'll put you right to that part of the video. But anyway, keep practicing your indie grounding and the be less scattered part, where you imagine those far off scattered parts and run gold light through them so they can come back. Because if you do that, if you keep doing that, yeah, it does seem like you're in the mood to be in all your chakras, and you could be if you just keep the indie grounding and maintain your indie grounding and then keep healing the far off scattered parts. So I hope that makes sense. Someone says, hi Janet, haven't participated in the live healing today, but I have been working so effectively with your techniques. Well, good, I'm glad to hear that. Yesterday, I had a little accident, a seemingly minor nudge on my hips felt major. Setback on my coccyx, alignment, etc. Can you please check on me and give me some tips to heal and realign quickly? Thank you. I feel very corded for some reason. Thank you. I mean, one thing I will say, just as a disclaimer, there's physical and then there's energy. And sometimes, you may need a physical adjustment. And I'm going to trust you to determine the difference, but I don't want to give the impression that energy healing is all anyone would ever need. Like, for example, over a year ago, I half dislocated my shoulder. And I didn't know that it was, that much physically, like half pulled out of the joint. And so I did a ton of energy healing on it, and probably made it feel as good as it could possibly feel given the circumstance. But thank goodness the angels finally had me go to a chiropractor so I could get it put back in the darn joint. So then the healing could finish, So just as a heads up, when you have a physical accident, you may need spinal help with a practitioner that physically interacts with your joints and your bones and everything. So just a heads up, but I'll trust you to use your intuition on that better than I did with my shoulder issue. But anyway, I'm gonna look at your hips and lower spine. Okay, so sometimes if you get knocked out of a location, then some stagnant energy kind of can lock up, and also maybe a couple beings that were near that area can kind of scoot in because you're not there. So I would say do vacuum boxes around your whole spine, because I can even see like around here and around here, there are some old blocks that were here, years ago, like even 10 years ago, that are still there. So just imagine your spine. I have a video, Janet Wright spine healing. If you look up spine healing Janet Wright, you'll find it. And you don't need that, but if you like walkthroughs, maybe that'll help. You could just Google a spine diagram, go to Google and just go to spine diagram so you can see all the vertebrae. Because sometimes I think seeing a visual copy of it then helps your imagination, and you can see, oh yeah, I feel like right there, it's all dark. Because with the spine, you want the energy to flow freely up and down with any bone. You want energy to, bones kind of are, I mean, they have many functions, I'm sure, physically, but energy wise, they're kind of like conduits for energy. And so if the energy is really blocked there, it blocks the flow, right? So you have some old chronic blockages, which I think would be good to work right now anyway. But down here, you did also have chronic blockages. But I think that the when you got physically jolted, part of your spirit just left that area. So then a couple beings jumped in, and the energy blocks that have always been there, just they feel more than you. It's like it's just stuck more. So vacuum boxes around up and down your spine everywhere. And then if you know what vacuum boxes are, you just make them boxes that suck up energy that's not you, including beings. And then have your angels recycle the boxes when you're done. Just angels recycle those boxes. So yeah, I would just say lots of gold light and vacuum boxes, but just all the way up and down. But your hips, it doesn't seem to me to be as much of a hip issue. I think if you get way more in the spine and get the spinal flow way more up and down, then I do have a video. If you just search Janet Wright hip, what would I have called it? I don't know that I called it hips. You search Janet Wright bone healing. Because there is one video that I have that heals like all this, the hips, this joint up here, and the sacroiliac joints. So you could do that too. But anyway, yeah, so beings and energy blocks. Just get rid of the beings, melt the energy blocks. But yeah, heal and realign quickly. I would say more like over time, because a lot of it is not, just takes time, because these are, you can easily have past life energy blocks in your joints, in your bones, in your muscles. So I would say it's not a quick fix. It's sort of an over time fix, but one that could really enhance your quality of life. So, feeling very corded for some reason, I would just say, yeah, I just think you're more aware of not being present down there. And if you start healing, just heal it all at once, the whole spine all at once, and get rid of the beings. Just, you can freeze them, make being ice cubes, just a lot of gold light, and just freeze the beings like they're being ice cubes, and then just give them to your angels, Say, angels, can you take these? Just make being ice cubes a lot and get the flow going. So that way you can get there more. All right, so somebody says, also feedback, I woke up feeling very inspired today. Thank you. I feel like my 7th chakra is waking up more. Yay. Yeah, 7th chakra is fun. Good, I'm glad. Thanks for the feedback. Someone says, hi, Janet. I've been feeling something block or whack in my heart area. Been trying to heal it, but it feels like I might be missing something. It's physical body fourth. Yeah, I would say look at the chakras above it and below it, because it's a couple beings, but they're rooted into several chakras at once. And so you're kind of missing that. And if you miss that, then you kind of temporarily clear them out of one chakra. It's so easy for them to get back in because they're still sitting there. Like the beings, they're in like 6, 5, 4, and 3. So on like your right side. So just imagine all those chakras at once, and just kind of notice all that weird light there that's not supposed to be there that goes up and down. And just say, angels, can you recycle all these guys? And then just keep looking and keep having them recycled, keep looking, keep having them recycled. Because it's not really, you're feeling it in the fourth the most, but it's actually in a bunch of chakras at once. It's just a being issue with a couple chakras. But other than that, I don't think it's a chakra damage issue. I just think it's a being issue where the beings are anchored into multiple chakras, and so you're having trouble because you're only thinking of that one chakra. And for everybody else, for context, that's super common. That, if you notice a blockage in one chakra, just check above and below it. Because a lot of times, like say your 3rd chakra is blocked on the right side, just check the 4th and the 2nd. Because if they're blocked on that same side, then you might have a being that's like hanging out in all of them. So then if you get that being, angels, can you please recycle that being? Then And just keep doing that until you get full flow on all three of those chakras on that side. It could be an energy block that's kind of bigger, that's affecting all three chakras at once, but in your case that's not true. But it could be large energy blocks, or it could be just a being hanging out in multiple chakras, but easy to get rid of. Right. I want to make sure that I get questions from everybody. So at this point, I'm going to start skipping some people if I've answered one or two of your questions already. So let's see. So you say indie grounding is a game changer. Could communal people have been courting my grounding and benefiting from my energy work on myself? I noticed that my invasive family piggybacks on my progress. Yeah, I've answered a question for you before, so I'm going to give you a teeny version of this. I don't think communal grounding helps anybody. Everyone thinks it does, and it doesn't. So I don't think that's how they've been. I think when you, for example, you could say, angels, can you please clean out planetary darkness energy from my family? Angels, can you please clean out planetary darkness energy from my apartment that I live in with my family? Or, can you please clean out, so I think that if you work, if you clear beings that are in your space, but they're also in your family space, you have them recycled, that's going to help them. But they're not being helped by if you do communal grounding. So that wasn't helping anybody. Someone says, thanks so much, Janet. You're welcome. Thank you for your question. And thanks for the little purple heart. That's cute. These Q&As are so helpful. Oh, good. I'm glad. You're welcome to them. And these days, there are 2 Q&As every month after the Sunday healing, basically. After the Sunday triple healing, which was today, and also after the Sunday healing masterclass, which is in 2 weeks from today. And if you don't know which Sundays it's going to be, just look on my website on the session payment page and just notice any of the Sunday dates. And that's when the Q&As are after the healing. Okay, someone says, feel really good overall. However, throat chakra feels continuously blocked or missing energy soul fragments. Is that related to an oppression device? Da, 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 da. You have a being that kind of hangs out in the back of your 5th layer, and then he kind of leans in to your 5th chakra. And if you're really present, he just gets really tiny and sits in your 5th layer until you don't notice again, and you get more distracted, and then he gets bigger and takes up more room in the back of your back right of your 5th layer, and then he leans in on your 5th chakra. So that's how it's like a chronic issue that's not going away. So just have him recycled. He's right in the back there in your 5th layer. Right now he's kind of on the smaller side because you're much more here. So he's oh, now it's time to hide. So it mostly looks like just a being that you can ask your angels to recycle. Okay, someone says, so yeah, soul fragments. I don't know. That sounds so stuffy and starchy. I don't know. Blah, blah, blah. No comment on soul fragments. I mean, not that you're stuffy and starchy. It's just, sometimes these spiritual terms people use, it's just too much. Okay. Someone says, still feeling a bit like a roller coaster. I feel it's old stuff I am facing now. How am I doing? Thank you very much. You're awesome. Okay, so yeah, I did notice when I checked in with you on Thursday, I quickly look at all the healing participants ahead of time. You were having a big time, It's not your finest moment, but it was mostly due to scattering, due to communal grounding. There wasn't major things wrong with your aura. There wasn't major things wrong with your grounding or your chakras. It was just the communal grounding, because we're in with the civil rights demonstrations. Thank goodness they're happening. I hope they keep happening. But with the coronavirus shifts and people's the fact that people are actually dying, the fact that it changes people's job situation, their economics. These are massive upheavals that affect billions of people on the planet. So if you're using communal grounding at all, subconsciously, accidentally, you're pretty screwed right now. Yeah. So just keep practicing the indie grounding, just all the way down, just melt away, gold fire all the way down, just melt away any branching off that you're experiencing in your grounding, because you had a lot of communal grounding accidentally, subconsciously, and so it was just too much, all these shifts happening on the planet. So a lot of you was very scattered. So just like for somebody else, I said, keep working your indie grounding and heal, imagine the parts of you that are far off and scattered, and just keep running gold light through those parts of you so that they're okay and they can come back. So yeah, it's just the roller coaster you're feeling is that you're hooked into other people on the planet, and they're all going through giant shifts, and your grounding works best if it's just for you. So, but you can work that. Okay. Hope that makes sense. But yeah, otherwise you're doing great. So if, like I said, it wasn't an aura issue, it wasn't a chakra issue, it wasn't a grounding issue. I mean, it wasn't like your grounding was already wide, and it was just, hooked into everybody. So just do indie grounding and help the scattered parts of you come back. Okay, someone says, hi, Janet. What can I do when someone imposes forced generosity or doesn't take no for an answer? My parents are very kind, but sometimes a bit controlling. Thank you. Well, it's funny. My husband and I always joke about how I'm not really into receiving gifts. Like if I don't want something, I don't want something, Like one time I had this friend who, is no longer my friend, but he kept re-gifting stuff to me. And and I knew it was re-gifting. He knew I was a professional psychic, and so I would literally say, I don't like gifts, don't give me a gift. And each year he would give me like a re-gifted gift that I don't even want, and it was re-gifted, and it's like, okay, dude, I can tell it's re-gifted. I'm psychic, every time. And it was so weird. But one time he re-gifted this gift to me that it was just so, the energy was really just off. Like there were some beings on the gift, and it was just, and I didn't even take it out of his house. I'm like, I'm really sorry. I can't, I'm not going to take this. So, he had to like dump it in the trash, which he should have done in the first place. After I left, or he probably tried to re-gift it to somebody else. So anyway, I'm not one to accept things I don't want, in many cases. So the forced generosity, what I would do is do message flowers with that person, those people over time. Think of it as a long-term project if these people are people you want to keep in your life. I mean, that person, he was really just using me anyway, so it was, it was just sort of the beginning of the end, which was totally for the best for me. But in your case, it sounds like you'd like to maintain these relationships. Which is good too. And so you can use the resolve conflict and boundary issues video, because at the end first the earlier parts help them to work with their angels more, which is good. But then towards the end, there's message flowers. And so you can make message flowers that describe, that you don't like receiving stuff you don't want, and, describes like what you would like or whatever. And then just have your angels fix it so that whatever message it is, they make it a level that your parents can actually hear and understand on a spirit level. And then, once your angels have checked it, then just leave them at a respectful distance for your parents. And then that over time, if you just keep doing that for them over time, they'll, it looks like they would be able to switch gears, and then you'd be able to just find a way, like it could resolve itself over time. So, but if it were a friend who's already using you and you shouldn't have them as a friend anyway, it might just be the beginning of the end, like it was for me. Okay, somebody says, thank you, Janet. That makes sense. Well, good. I'm glad. Somebody says, I can see how my ex is having a hard time with me getting healings. How can I prevent him from taking me down with him? Is there something I can do to feel stronger and more in charge of my own life? Yeah, well, oh, sorry, I read that too fast for everyone who's not seeing the text. Okay, basically, it's an issue that a lot of people have, often with ex-husbands or ex-wives, or, a sibling or something, someone that you've known, and they're just not as open to change as you are, but they're very aware of you on a spirit level, so they kind of freak out when you take bold steps forward that they wouldn't do personally. It could be a parent, you know, one of your kids. So the idea would be to just know that these people are like this. These people are more stuck. They're less open to change by nature. So therefore, there are simple, quick ways that you can adjust to help them adjust as often as necessary. You know, so you just do the help, just do that your angels can help and guide you flowers. You could do those. They're so quick and easy to do. For people that don't know, that's from the Janet Wright Resolve Conflict Boundary Issues video. They're just these the flowers that you make, and your angels check them, you know, say basically your angels can help and guide you, and you just regularly do that. So every time you do a group healing, just give him a batch, give him a couple batches throughout the set, you know, and then he's going to be fine. He's going to totally leave you alone. But it's just something that it's not going to go away. He's not going to, you know, like, well, eventually you might notice that he just gets so with it that he stops doing that. But for a lot of people, you know, they just have a stodgy ex, you know, or they just have a stodgy sibling that can be helped, but continually needs those flowers, you know. Like my genetic family, they're you know, they're not open to this subconsciously. My, you know, like birth mother, birth father, that kind of thing. But you know, I give them energy healings. They do these healings with spirit level consent, and but you know, every once in a while, even with all those healings I've done, one of them might, you know, try to knock the crap out of me at some point, and I just say, hey, you know, how are you doing? What's wrong? And then they'll just be like, oh, okay, I'm sorry, you know, and I'll be like, here are your angels, you know, and then they're okay again. You know, so some people, they just, you know, because they're not meditating consciously. So, you know, it's not that easy. If you're not clearing energy, then you're kind of, you know, you get blocked a lot. So long story short, there are ways to help those people as needed, but, you know, don't go into denial about it and be like, oh, well, because I don't feel like paying for healings for him, he must be fine. No, he's not fine. So, you know, it's probably in your best interest to kind of keep tabs on that just a little, you know, give him some flowers every now and then. So that you get some peace. So someone says, thank you so much. You're welcome so much. So yeah, so to go back to that person, I don't think you're not in charge of your life. I just think that you need to not be in denial about, you know, how stuck the people are in your life, you know, and just be realistic. How often do you need to do flower healing for your adult children, for your adult ex, for, you know, your 3 top business associates that are halfway stuck all the time, you know, how often? And then just do the flower healing and be done with it. You know, just keep doing it as much as needed. Okay, somebody says, hi, Janet, thanks for today's healing. I felt like I had a huge gash in the top right part of my 7th. Did I intuit that correctly? Also, do my cats enjoy the energy work or no? I can't tell. Do my cats enjoy the energy work? I'm not sure if you mean like, are you giving them healings, or do they enjoy when you get a healing? Typically, animals really like when you get a healing because they're very affected by your energy. So yeah. I don't remember who you are, like the real life word name that you have. But I can do my best to look based on your YouTube name. Yeah, you were definitely right about that gash that you had. The question is, you could heal that on your own too. It just, there was a hard object that had come all the way through your aura there, so you just get rid of the object with gold light, hand it to your angels, and then you do the repair work to your aura and to the chakra. But I mean, the healing did it. The object is gone. Yeah, your 7th is nice now. Your creative rings are nice now. Yeah, everything's nice. But yeah, so you did intuit that correctly, but I would just say take the next step and remove it if you want. But of course, you know, when you're getting the healing, that'll happen anyway. So do your cats enjoy the energy work? Yeah, I'm still not sure. Yeah, in general, of course, they do. But I'm not sure if you're healing them. Maybe you could, I mean, if I knew your name too, but if you could tell me like the name of your cat or something, maybe that'd be a little more specific. I could look and just say, are you healing your cat? You know, or are you just saying, I mean, because if all animals would like that you're getting healed, it would help their energy indirectly. Someone says, woo, first chakra. Yes, congratulations, being in your first chakra a lot of the time. Already feel much better knowing what that is about. Yeah, we'll do the clear fear work. Thank you. Yay. Someone says, my anger management has been awful lately. Why is that? Yeah, again, I'm not sure of your YouTube name, like what your real life name is, but so maybe email me that. So I'll try to memorize it. I'm not good at memorizing though. I think at the moments when you're saying my anger management, when you're feeling a lot of anger, you're less grounded. Your grounding becomes very narrow. So then the energy blocks that are in your second layer, they can't clear if you don't have good grounding. So I would say be proactive about it. You know, one video that your angels like is there's a one deep thought. If you look up deep thought, anger, sadness. So Janet Wright, deep thought, anger, sadness. That would be nice. Your angels like that one. To clear, the idea is you want to let go of old anger energy blocks that you're holding on to. I think you're more present in your second layer and your second chakra, so you're feeling what you were kind of numbing out to before. So the idea is stay present. That's good that you're present. So it's not a spiritual failure that you're feeling all that repressed anger. It's just now it's time to let go of it, you know? So that video, that deep thought, deep thought, anger, sadness video could be really nice to help retrain yourself to, okay, I need to let go of that stuff. But also keep that wide grounding, work your wide grounding. Because I think at the times when you're reacting, you're becoming stuck in the anger, your grounding is, you kind of lost your grounding. And so you're like mostly out of your lower chakras. So just come back, you know, think about your legs, think about bringing up earth energy up your legs. There's a video, Janet Wright, earth energy up legs. That could be a nice one to do just to remind yourself of how it works and how you bring up the red earth energy up your legs into your first chakra. And just, you know, you can practice that more regularly, just to practice being more rooted, being more present in your lower chakras. Okay. So yeah, it's your anger management is not awful lately. It's just that you're actually more present and you're feeling all the repression that you have had all these years. And so that's good that you're more present. Just work on clearing it now. Keep working on being more present. Keep working on your legs, you know, just, yeah, let go of the anger. Clear it. Someone says, are there beings, hard objects, blocks in or around the back of my fourth chakra? Couple beings, yeah. Yeah, the beings, they kind of look like cloudy, bushy stuff. You just, you know, say, angels, can you recycle those beings back there? There you go. So check back in like a minute, see what it's like then. But if there's still more cloudy, bushy smokiness, just point it out again to the angels and get rid of it. Usually it's like, it just takes a little while to clean house totally. And then maybe when it's just energy blocks, it feels more like hard books there, and then you just melt those away with gold light. So yes, I would say yes, all of the above. But yeah, so there's just like one or two more beings. So just say, angels, can you recycle back there? There you go. And then there you go. And so now there's just energy blocks. So just think of the back of your fourth chakra, make a nice big version of it, right? And just lots of gold light. Melt away all the blocks. Okay, someone says, ha ha ha, I love your advice. Janet, bless you for teaching like a real person and with a sense of humor. It helps me relate to it so much better. Well, good. Thank you so much. You're very kind. Someone says, hi, Janet. I'll be teaching youth this summer and would like to begin each session with stretching. That is beautiful. Would be nice if everybody started with stretching. Wouldn't be nice. Would be nice. What are some quick, simple phrases I can use to guide the kids to work on their own energy during this time without explicitly talking about energy? Yeah, there's a lot, particularly with kids, because kids they haven't numbed out to that stuff as much. So, I mean, I think some, sort of socially accepted jargon. I mean, particularly, in sort of an outdoor gardeny kind of context, be like a big tree, have roots, have your roots go straight down to the core of the earth. So tree and roots, that's not very woo woo, right? Be a big strong tree. Um, Stress is a nice catch-all word that basically means energy blocks. It means being triggered, all that stuff all at once. So you release stress, melt away your stress, let go of your stress. Um, you could, depending on the context, sometimes people use the term drama, instead of energy. So they'll say maybe someone dumped a bunch of drama on you, so you just release their drama, release drama from everybody, and release it, all the way down to the core of the earth. Or they can dump the drama, put it in like a big laundry bag, and give it to, you can't say give it to their angels, but you say blow it up, blow up stress that maybe you took on accidentally from people that you care about. Just put it all in a big laundry bag and throw it out in front of you and blow it up, like fireworks. So you can, the blowing up, that's sort of socially okay if you make it like fireworks or something, or putting things in a big laundry bag and blowing it up, or dropping it down like rocks, away from you. Let it fall off like rocks, let the heaviness fall down. You're not your stress, you are strong. Think about your strength. You are strong, you are worthy, stuff like that. That's mainstream enough. So hopefully that helps. But yeah, empowerment, strength, you can yeah, I think you get the idea. Okay. Someone says, I'm feeling resentment towards my husband and him not understanding my perspective on racial tensions. Should I clear fourth chakra aura later more? Yeah. Okay, so great question. Thank you for posting it. Okay, so for context, if someone sees this years from now, the George Floyd murder happened recently. Terrible, terrible situation. Four cops really murdered this guy, and it was all caught on video. Thank God. I mean, it's terrible that it happened, but so many of these things happen and they're never caught on video. So this one was the whole, 8.5 minutes or something that one cop was on this guy's neck was on video, and the other cops, there's all this like side camera footage that people got, so you can see like 3 out of 4 cops were putting pressure on his body, and just insane stuff. But if somebody's white, they will not have experienced racial oppression in this lifetime, so they may not be open to hearing about it. Plus, if they've had past lives as a racial oppressor. So, for example, somebody could have a past life as a slave owner, like for real. And, there were a lot of slave owners in the US, in other countries that, literally enslaved people, around the world, really. People have enslaved other cultures, people in a lower caste, all sorts of things. So if someone has a recent past life as an oppressor in that way, as a racial oppressor, then they just may be so triggered by these civil rights demonstrations that their response is to shut it down and pretend like, this isn't happening, it's not important, it doesn't matter, everybody's exaggerating, they get defensive. So, husband XYZ, who used to be, a minor slaveholder in a past life, recent past life, you can't talk to the guy about it consciously, Can't be like, well, gee, honey, do you think you were a slave owner in a recent past life? You can't do that, So, but you can do flower healing, on a spirit level, and, help him to work with his angels on the issue. Do message flowers, to help him understand what a core issue it is for you, and that this is not negotiable, that over time he's going to have to become more open-minded about this stuff. you know, for your daughter, for you, etc. You know, just work it on a spirit level. And you can't force anybody, you know, like involve your angels with it so that this is not arm twisting time. You know, you really want someone to genuinely evolve, you know, and if he married you, I mean, you're no fool. You weren't like crazy when you married him, you know? So I think there's already this agreement that he's going to come around. It's just that conscious conversation isn't going to do it. You know, just do the spirit stuff. But yeah, I think it's because in a recent past life he was a slave owner. And I did get somebody's survey where they were like, oh yeah, I had a friend correct me on something I said, and I feel kind of, you know, I don't know what I feel, shame or I feel resistance to being corrected about this, you know, racially correct, you know, stuff. You know, it's possible that people listening, even if who are open to, you know, trying to be very equality oriented now, have had a past life as a slave owner, you know, and so, or past life as a slave recently or something, you know, so it's like, there could be some touchiness about it, you know, and you know, in past lives, we all had early past lives where we were oppressors of other people, you know, and so it's possible that different people just haven't cleared the shame and the guilt about it, and so they still have so much of that now that they're like, no, this is silly, everyone's making it up, it's not happening, you know. So the idea would be, if you're conscious and you're listening, you think, well, maybe that was me, just do a lot of blanket exercise, you know, and just clear the energy blocks, make big piles, you know, out in front of you of any shame, guilt, baggage, whatever that gets triggered when you hear about racial equality issues. You know, anything that's in the way of you taking racial equality for real, you know, and legitimately respecting the rights of all people. You know, and whatever those energy blocks are, just pile them out in front of you, have your angels double check the piles, to angels check my piles, and then melt it with gold light. You know, and you can do that regularly. So over time, you can clear your baggage about it. So hope that helps. Fascinating question. Very glad you brought it up. I do need to finish soon, so we are in the speed round. In addition to indie grounding, are there other spiritual insights, perhaps from your angels, to learn from at this time in regard to the George Floyd protests, like say spiritual age, etc.? Well, I think I just kind of answered what else I wanted to say about it. I will say too, though, that I did post some videos sort of after the fact, like midday yesterday. I posted some extra videos under the you know, the links, all those video links I put in the comment section. I posted there's a comedy writer for the Seth Meyers show, Amber Ruffin. So if you search YouTube Amber Ruffin Police, you will get some very interesting, cool videos that she put out through the Seth Meyers Late Show in the last week, describing experiences that she's had with the police in the US, and basically racially abusive situations, most of them, or just showing a lot of discrimination, discriminatory treatment. And it's not like she's another George Floyd. The point is to show what many people of color have been experiencing. You know, it's like, not only are there a lot of George Floyds, there are a lot of people that have been killed by police, but there's been no video of it, you know, or have been killed by, you know, neighbors, like the Ahmaud Arbery. I'm probably butchering his name, but anyway, there have been a lot of people that have been literally killed by racial oppression. But then there's like just emotional, psychological abuse type level stuff, and risk of physical harm, but it didn't go there, that a lot of people have experienced in their lives. And I think those videos are really nice if you're white in this lifetime, like myself, you know, white, Caucasian. White sounds so silly, but if you're white in this life, maybe watching those videos might be cool, because she's so present and flowing as she talks about them. So it's like this nice little baby step way to like hear about some of her experiences and what she's been through, which are, like I said, probably indicative of what a lot of people have gone through in the US with police. So I posted that, and I also posted a link to the Hassan Minhaj video that I had alluded to in the Friday live stream. I posted the link to it, where he talks about, he calls out racial discrimination based on, you know, how dark or how light someone's skin coloring was within Asian cultures, and he was calling that out. And so that's very interesting too, because I think it's an issue in many I don't know if all cultures are like that though, but anyway, so I will also post those links under today's healing video as well. So, but that's all I have time to say about all that. Someone says, yes. Someone says, hi, Janet, thank you. I felt a sense of relief after taking out implants today. I also felt some pre-healing must have happened on Tuesday because I was dancing around the house Wednesday for no reason. Yeah, you were working a lot with your angels. So good job. Good job. Someone says, thank you so much. You are welcome so much. I'm glad that you liked the answers to your questions. I did feel the beings and part life energy, especially after this full moon eclipse. I'm glad you confirmed this. It feels good to be right. Ice Cube's brilliant. You're awesome. Yeah, I love being Ice Cubes. It's because it's so silly, you know, and it's so doable. Like, haha, you're just an Ice Cube. I give it to my angels. Someone says, at least it's good karma. I don't know what you're referring to. At least it's good karma. Someone says, thank you, Janet. No random being heart nudges. Now I know what that means for future reference. Thank you. Ah, yes, you're referring to the beings that can access multiple chakras at once. And so once you see them, you just ask your angels to recycle. Someone who's new, welcome. So I will read her question even though I have to wrap up. Can you comment on healing gender-related trauma? I feel like I'm letting go of traumas and I'm becoming more balanced by doing so, but I'm not sure if I'm going in the right direction. My plan is to wait and see. Thanks, Karina. So you can email me because I'm not sure that I have a clear idea of where you're going. Gender-related trauma could be so many things. I mean, I would just say there's a video I have, blanket exercise. That's probably the easiest way to clear baggage, you know? So Janet Wright blanket exercise. But you can also email me maybe because maybe you don't want to say things literally in this context. And I could, you know, more accurately refer you to certain videos or something if you told me more exactly what's going on. I would say though, you have a lot of aura damage. So working on that is going to make everything less dramatic. So you learn aura repair with a video, Gold Energy Aura Buffer Zones. So if you search Janet Wright Gold Energy Aura Buffer Zones, you'll find that video. It's an 18-minute video. So that's really my first suggestion, is just learn aura repair, because you have significant aura repair. And yeah, your chakras actually are okay, oddly enough. Maybe your angels have been protecting your chakras, but your aura is like a lot is missing in the back. So get that fixed up first. First things first. Someone says, great suggestions. I can't wait to use them. Good. Someone says, you explained so much. Thank you so much. Rainbow color hearts. Well, good. Someone says, I enjoyed listening to the Q&As. Thank you. Well, you guys are so nice. Thank you. Got lots of flowers. Yay. Thank you. All right, cool. Well, that's a good note to end on. You guys are super awesome. When is our next Q&A? In 2 weeks from today, after the Sunday Healing Masterclass. And speaking of the Sunday Healing Masterclass, at the moment, well, I don't know at the moment. I know this morning there were 23 spots left for it. And sometimes that can last, you know, it can take a whole week for those to sell out. Sometimes that can sell out in 2 days. So I wouldn't wait. You know, if you have the money, you know you want to do that one, just jump on it so that you're not later going, Janet, can you add extra people? Because I can't. So anyway, so yeah, there are 23 spots left for the healing on in 2 weeks on June 21st, Sunday, June 21st, which is on creativity and self-expression. Ah! And then there are, well, this morning there were 28 spots left for the healing set of 3 healings, the triplet set on July 3rd, 5th, and 7th, which is called the shit triplet. Kids, you're not allowed to say shit in public. If there are any kids, maybe like one kid watching, but the shit triplet helps you to take responsibility for your own baggage and really work on it and make progress and stop taking on everybody else's shit. So the official respectable name is Baggage Responsibility and Boundaries. And that's coming July 3rd, 5th, and 7th. And this morning there were 28 spots on that, so don't snooze on that either. Okay, you guys are awesome. Bye.